up, guys? Sorry for the weird angle. The phone holder thing is whack. So I actually saw this video yesterday, and it got me thinking. Like, I am piggybacking off of this, admittedly, but it was such a great idea, and I was like, everyone fucking needs to know this. This is something that, you know, people just gotta know. So, for those of you who struggle with visualization when it comes to your manifestations, because visualization is like such a powerful aspect to manifesting, you can draw it, right? You can draw the future that you desire, right? You draw out, you know, exactly how you want it. I always, every time I talk about manifestation though, I like to bring up the fact that you should never try to manifest a specific person, because then you're infringing on their free will, and there's a lot of karmic repercussions on that. It's like this meme I saw once that said, me to baby witches. You never start a relationship with a kidnapping, right? And that's kind of what it is, you know, when you try to manifest a specific person. It's a spiritual kidnapping. We should honor their ability to choose, right? We should be, you know, and yeah, sometimes it sucks. I know sometimes it sucks when somebody doesn't choose you. However, sometimes that is also a blessing. You know, you don't know, and it could be a blessing for both of y'all, you know, like, you guys just might not be meant for each other in that way, right? And then you're just, like, not giving any mind to the potential that your person is out there waiting for you, you know, and you're wasting all your time. Sorry, I've got my toolbox back there. You're wasting all this time, like, being bothered about one person who probably just isn't it for you, you know? And I know from experience, okay? Like, I've had my share of, you know, being crazy about people that were not meant for me, and I accept that, and that is what it is, you know? So, when you're manifesting, though, and because you want a visual, you know, you want something so you can see it, so you can feel it, something that becomes tangible. When you, in the same way that, have you ever noticed that all these crazy ass movies happen to come to fruition in some weird way or another, and they're outlandish, right? Like, right now, that movie Left Behind, we're living that shit, okay? The intro to that movie actually is almost identical to the footage of what's happening in Israel, you know? It's crazy. Then, you know, there's like that movie, I think it was called Pandemic, that was identical to the story of COVID, you know? And there are so many ways that we manifest through visualizing, through feeling things while we're visualizing. And when movies raise your emotions, they can actually cause you to help manifest the reality of that, right? Because you're visualizing it, you're feeling it, and so, like, instead of letting the media have all the power, all your manifestation powers, sometimes it's good to kind of, like, utilize your own power for your own sake, right? And not in a selfish way, but in a way that, like, can benefit you and those that you love and all that, you know? So, I haven't done this yet. I can't even, like, speak on the, you know, the validity on it, because I haven't done it, the process. However, I feel that it will work, because it makes sense to me. Because you need a visual aid, you need to see it, you need to be in it before you're in it, right? And so, I'm gonna do it tonight. I'll let you guys know if it works out. I'll show you my pictures and everything, you know, when it works out. I ain't gonna show you until it's done. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, because a lot of people aren't visual, right? A lot of people don't think in pictures and images. A lot of people think in words, right? And when you think in words, it's a little bit more challenging, right? Some people don't even have an internal monologue, and that's fucking crazy to me. But that's a whole other subject for a whole other day, Basically, though, like, you want to draw it out exactly how you want it, right? Like, draw yourself holding a $10,000 check or whatever, or draw yourself, receiving the keys to your new house. And what does your new house look like? Draw up the blueprints, right? What does your new car look like? Draw up the blueprints. Be very specific while you're manifesting. Like, you want to just really lay it out and then go back to it, right? And one thing I've learned too, for those who struggle with meditation, because believe me, dog, it's hard sometimes, okay? Even after I've done it for years, sometimes the monkey chatter in my brain is just like, no, we're talking, and I'm like, shut up. I'm like, I'm trying to be present. My brain's like, remember that embarrassing thing you did when you were 10 that nobody else remembers? Let's have anxiety now, It's like, my brain does that shit. So I know that I'm not the only one on that aspect or on that thing. And there are some skills that I have implemented to really help shut out that internal monologue, because, sometimes, you got that ego trying to talk to you, you got your higher self trying to talk to you, and you're like, bro, I need all y'all to shut up. I'm looking at a mountain, okay? So for me, I take control of my thoughts. Instead of letting my mind wander, sometimes I have to meditate with my eyes open, and I hear that that's actually, pretty helpful for people who are just starting, so you don't fall asleep and shit. But I like to start out just, my eyes open, and eventually it turns into a nap, because I love naps, and those are also pretty good and spiritual for you. But I like to have at least a solid 20 minutes where I am present, and I'm just, not really dwelling on things, not letting my brain, do too much. And I notice it too when I am slacking off on my meditation, because my brain just does its shit, and so, anyway, sorry, I'm in ADHD mode right now, but yeah, so when you are trying to meditate on your visualization, like, look at it, right? Look at it, and rather than having no thoughts, direct your thoughts, right? And look at your image and think, this is my present moment, right? And you imagine it as your present moment. In the present moment, you are receiving that $10,000 check, right? In the present moment, you are signing off on your new house. In the present moment, you could even, manifest your soul partner, but don't be specific on their name, be like, you can be manifesting like the person that is the match for you, right? The person that is meant for you. And you just pretty much focus on that. You get real clear on it, and you fathom it like that is your current time, right now. This is it, in the present moment. How do you feel? What kind of music are you listening to when you're with your partner, right? Don't listen to that sad shit. I learned about that, okay? Because if you are repeatedly, like, listening to downer music, and I love downer music, that's the hardest part. I'm like, Lil Peep, come on, I love you, but it's like, as much as I love it, I know where it sends me, on a mental and emotional, state, because we respond to the vibrations, right? We respond to that frequency. And if you're a metalhead, I hella recommend like We Butter the Bread with Butter or Electric Callboy, because like they play some of the happiest fucking music and it's still metal, you know, and it's like you can listen to that hardcore stuff without it being like death and violence and, you know, because I love that shit too, okay? Like, I'm like, hi, but you're pretty and I like you know, whatever. And there is happy metal music, despite what people think, you know. Some of the best love songs are metal songs, okay? But, yeah, anyway, when you want to live, after the meditation, you want to live like that is still your present moment, right? Because when we fall in love, what are we doing? We're listening to sappy shit, right? We're listening to the happy shit. When we're balling out on, you know, having a lot of money and we're, you know, feeling like, what do we listen to? We listen to that baller shit, you know? We listen to, what do we listen to? I don't know. When we're having like a happy, sunny day out on the countryside, we're probably listening to the Beach Boys or some shit, or country, whatever. I do like Reba McEntire, I ain't gonna lie. Like, some John Denver, you know, some of the classics. So, you know, you want to live in the frequency of that. Also, like, what else do? You watch cheesy movies, right? You don't watch those breakup movies. You don't watch all that drama. You don't want to think about all that, because when you are happily, you know, in a connection, you want to focus on that energy, right? You want that energy to be very prominent in your life. Also, what else do, right? If you're anything like me, you're going to be researching the shit out of like how to be a good partner or how to do those things, right? Because you want to have successful, healthy connections, hopefully, right? So already implement those things, like already be prepared for those things. Already take yourself out on dates and do the things with yourself that you would do with a partner, because you got to live in the way that you want to, with, you know, like, if that makes sense. Same goes for like pretty much anything, you know, like if you were wealthy, right, what would you do? You'd learn how to, you know, be good with money. You would learn about investments and savings. You would focus on what you want to invest in, you know, like start building your ambition around that, and you start living like you already have it. One thing I did when I started doing my merch is like, shit, I think I had $50 in my account, and it was either eat for that week, you know, or invest that $50 into having a few t-shirts made and selling them. And I decided not to eat. I was like, shit, God, give me my daily bread if I need it. Like, I am okay to not eat, okay? Like, I will fast, I will die, it's fine. But I'm done not invest, or I'm finished with like living a life where I don't invest in myself, you know? So that's where, with my last $50, I bought t-shirts and they sold, you know, and that was sick. I did the same thing with candles, you know. I had like $100 and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna make the supplies, I'm gonna make hella candles, and I did that. And, you know, like, sometimes you gotta start with like the bare fucking minimum, you know. Sometimes you start with $5, sometimes you start with no bucks, sometimes you just gotta start by drawing out your plans and implementing, you know, like, what would you do if you were, you know, like a fashion designer, right? You'd be designing. You don't necessarily need to focus on, oh, well, I need this machine and I need this sewing stuff and I need this and that. You don't think about those. When you are in the energy of already working on those things, you know that in time those other things come together. In time the other stuff shows up. What you gotta start doing is you gotta start designing, right? You gotta start thinking of ideas. Go find some old clothes, start tearing them apart, start, you know, reconstructing them. You know, I watched a video where this girl, she took all the shreds of old fabric that she had and she was making furniture and shit with it and stuffed animals. And I was like, bro, that is so innovative. Like, you know, you can literally have the bare minimum and make it work. You know, it's about your motivation, and it's about living as though you already have your resources, as though you are already on the path, right? Because when you're living like that, you know, then there's no reason to fret. You know that the other shit's gonna come around. You know that, you know, even if you have to work a day job and shit, and you're like, oh well, this paycheck I can, you know, maybe put aside half of what I can, half of what I need for a sewing machine, you know, and then you do that, but it has to be more important than the instant gratification of shopping and, you know, whatever, you know, kind of things that you want, you know, drinking, smoking weed. You know, sometimes you gotta go like a couple weeks without smoking weed because you gotta invest in yourself. And you know, shit, brother, I understand. It's hard. It's not impossible. How bad do you want it? What does it mean to you? You know? And that's another part of manifesting, is it's got to be important to you. It's got to be something that you feel motivated, like you want to wake up and just do that shit, you know? So you do it. And I feel that, you know, anytime I have taken action towards, you know, an important goal, it's like the other shit just kind of falls into place. Like I make my own medicines and stuff, and I was running low on herbs, to be honest. I was like, man, I can't make any salves for my freaking eczema. Like, I can't make my own like hand sanitizing creams and shit. Because like my skin is very sensitive. I need special shit, you know, so I make it. And then my sister, like, and my dad, they got together and they bought me like a whole box of like new herbs and shit. And you know, shit just comes together. It's like you never know where the resources are gonna come from. You never know. You just gotta have faith that shit always comes together for you, right? Like, even when you're not feeling great, even when things are on the low, you know, it's like, you know that shit will work out for you. Another thing I've learned, and it's something I currently struggle with, I'm gonna be real, like, is differentiating between when you're complaining about a situation and when you're fixing a situation, right? Because complaining puts us in kind of the wrong frequency, the wrong mindset. Like, it's okay to voice your concerns. It's okay to be like, you know what, I am bothered by something that's going on. There's, you know, injustice or whatever. It's okay to do that. But if you're just complaining about something over and over and over, with taking no action to fix the problem or to change the situation, then that's where it's, you know, negative. Like, that's where it's a problem. It's okay to voice like, hey, something needs to change here. You know, speak your fucking truth. Keep your throat chakra open, you know. Also, like, differentiate between when you're just complaining about something and when you are actually actively fixing something, right? Changing a situation. You know, because, like, there were, like, just yesterday, I had to go to my boss about some stuff that, you know, I like to hold my tongue, you know, I like to give people, like, time to, like, you know, do stuff, and my boss wasn't the one in trouble, you know, I just needed to talk to him about some stuff that, you know, that was bothering me, to be honest, and I did not want to just sit there and complain about it and focus on it and dwell on it, because that's not where my head likes to be. Instead, I was like, how can we fix this, you know, and he love that he's a Capricorn because he's on the same mindset. How can we fix this? And I'm like, you know, and so I present him with, you know, like, here's what I would do. Like, here are ways that I would resolve the thing. And, you know, and I listen to his input, and that's how you problem solve, right? But you don't want to just... But for me, it was better to go directly to my boss and talk to him about those things, and really taking that step towards implementing change, rather than going to all my coworkers and being like, well, this is a problem and that's a problem, and nothing really changing, you know? So yeah, there's that. You know, and I mean, that man is the most patient man in the world. He's got a special place in heaven for him. Like, I gotta tell you what, like, he puts up with my ass, and not only does he put up with my ass, but he likes having me work for him. Like, I don't know, I was like, man, I could be a billionaire and I'd still probably show up to this job, you know, because I feel so respected and heard and understood, and I can come to him about the most random shit, you know. I'm like, I just look at him and I'm like, hey, King, do you think worms have buttholes or what? And he's like, probably, let's go figure this out, you know. And then, you know, we can talk about the most crazy random shit. And I feel like that's a dynamic that I want to carry with my entire soul tribe, you know. That's the kind of energy that is important to me, because I think that openness, that realness, that authenticity, that is what keeps your chakras open. It's what keeps you, like, going, you know. And it's just nice. It's very nice. And you know, that also helps you to manifest when you can talk to somebody else and, you know, get their input, and you know, make sure that they're people that you trust too, because, you know, there's a lot of monitoring spirits out there, you know. And if you don't know what those are, please look them up. You should know. Move in silence on some shit, you know. Like, you gotta know who's on your team and who, you know, who isn't. And there are ways to find out, you know, there are ways. So, that's also, you know what, maybe I'll make a video on that next, because now I feel that tangent coming along. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to say about the manifesting. You know, you want to feel it, you want to live it, you want to be it. You want to really full ass it. When you really want to manifest a lifestyle for yourself, or, you know, a career path, a relationship, whatever the fuck, you know. I mean, we talk about all those things on this channel, right? And so, to me, I think that's part of my task here, you know, is like, if I know something that could help you on your journey to live your most fulfilled life, bro, I'm gonna share it so fast. I'm gonna talk to all you about it. Right? And I hope the same goes for, you know, y'all. Like, if you guys know things, tell me. I like knowing things. So yeah, share your wisdom with your boy. But yeah, anyway, that's what I have for you. Namaste. I love you guys, and I'll see you later.